happened with the Ikaika spilled the tea. I watched back some episodes and the brothers saying you don't know the whole story resonated with me. Do we now know the whole story or no?
We still don't. We still don't know exactly why. I mean, honestly, I think it was just too much for him. Like leaving the island and then the TV and like having it, and then he's thinking in his mind, oh my God, 10 years of this. Like it just wasn't the right thing. Which is why he went home and then he joined Element. You know, he still ended up doing music with Brian and Mike. And so I think he still wanted to do it, but it just the TV and everything we had going on was just like, it was just too much for him to take.
It was a natural formation of the group, and even rewatching the show just recently, even though it's edited a different way, I know that in those in-between moments, between those edits, there was a lot of bonding forming between us. And we stayed in the same rooms together for a long period of time during that process. And we had, we pillow talked. And it sounds funny, but like, I could pause. We pillow talked, and we had the ability to sort of connect with each other. I with Ashley, and then those two guys. And I think for him, it was like, he kind of felt like the odd man out, I think, honestly.
I think culturally as well, like he was
Sure.
Hawaii.
Yeah, we might not be from the same area, but like, to him, we are from the same area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're from mainland.
Yeah. I knew from the first day that I arrived in Orlando with these guys that Lou made me uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
Oh.
And right?
News to me.
And I've never
all those.
I've never talked to. I've probably had exchanged 3 sentences with Ikaika over the years. But I can imagine he was uncomfortable with a lot of the stuff that was going on with Lou, whether it was just the way the contracts worked or whether it was some other stuff, because
But I scratched his back and stuff.
like whatever it was.
Yeah, for sure. I think that
was exactly it.
Like Lou had like a way of, he was like a salesman in front of people, and he was able to kind of make you all feel special, but then there was other times that it borderlined on creepy.
I specifically remember, I can't remember it was on the show. I know the cameras were around. He was like, just, I know you missed your family, but I'm like I'm your dad figure out here. I'm Big Pop.
That was on TV.
Everybody's dad. That was.
Yeah.
And that to him, because I remember him saying it later, he's like, I have a dad. I don't need a dad. Like, it was very.
Yeah, Ikaika said that, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Watching it back, there seemed to be some awkwardness between Ikaika and Lou. We're skipping around, which is great because it's natural conversations. Let's talk about Lou Pearlman, all right? Obviously a very polarizing figure looking back at the history of everything. How do you feel about him now, though, knowing that like all these things came out, but also he did give you your start, and we're probably not here without Lou Pearlman. So how do you guys feel about Lou 25 years later?
I think one of the things we've always said, like, yes. I mean, thank you, Lou.
Right.
And if he would have just been able to do business correctly, he could have been like one of the best music moguls that everyone would have loved. All the girls, everybody loved him because of what he did, because he put together these great bands, and like all he had to do was do the business, like good, like and he could have been Berry Gordy, Clive Davis. He could have went down as one of the greatest. It just sucks his greed like overtook all that and overshadowed all the great things that he did. But thank you.
It really became evident the day that he died. We were all together. We had a show that day, and it was really the first time that we were all like in a room, like none of us knew how to feel.
Yeah.
It was like, this is like, it's sad. You don't want anybody to die. But he did so many bad things, but we wouldn't know each other if it wasn't for him and the whole situation. So it really, that dichotomy really pulled at us on that day in particular. And I don't know, I never really thought about it until that specific moment.
Yeah, because it's final. It's final. That
It was so stressful, Dan actually took a sip of alcohol.
No!
Did I?
No, that was the day we separated from our record label.
Yeah, he actually did
cheers.
do that.
That's right. Cheers.
That was the only time I remember.
And then he threw
Really? Interesting. Okay.
And last night he had sugar beer last night.
Sugar
He
beer.
had some sugar beer.
I had a sip, yeah.
Root beer doesn't count anymore.
All right, got to address the elephant in the room. A lot of fans asking questions. There were 5 members of O-Town when it first started, 5 members on Making the Band. As you guys are watching it back and the memories are coming through and everything, how do you reflect on the times with Ashley Parker Angel, watching it back on TV now? Because obviously there was a brotherhood and a lot of really cool moments you guys had.
Well, I was watching the show we're about to show you guys, and we're working really hard at these videos, so they're all fresh in my head. And there was the moment when we were hearing our song on the radio for the first time.
Yeah.
And I remember it like it was yesterday when you watched this. We were in our apartments, like we ran one to the next. We're all jumping on the couches, and I'm watching this video, and I went, man, this moment right here, right now, makes me miss Ashley, because this band now is reformed. Like this brotherhood is tight, and it's a new thing. We never thought we'd be doing this for 3 times longer than we did the first time.
Right.
But when you go back and reflect at the early memories, he was such a part of this. So now I was like, oh yeah, we were missing somebody. Because today we don't feel, our normal shows day to day, we don't feel like we're missing somebody. We've been doing this, for, like I said, 3-4 times longer. Looking back, as much as I did in the last few weeks and seeing some of those moments, I was like, man, he made me laugh. Like, there was some really great funny moments, some skits, those life-changing, my songs on the radio, celebrations, like hurdles that we got over together.
Yeah.
And then slowly, you know, the band had separated for 10 years. We've been now together almost 12. So that time distances everybody. But you know how you would feel looking back at like your elementary school or high school best friend that you don't see anymore. You're like, man, we had some great times. What are they doing anymore?
I know.
Well, I just look on IG. I know he's in Vegas. I know exactly what they're doing. But truthfully, you're like, yeah, man, we had some great times.
Yeah. I used to take credit for all my jokes.
You guys bounced off each other so good. It was honestly, it was really good to watch you guys bounce off each other. It really was.
Eric, I want to hear your answer, because there was a very tender moment of you two during your dad's search and everything. Okay, so answer that question I asked. How do you feel looking back at Ashley?
You know, when we're on the road doing O-Town now, he's probably the last person I'm thinking. In this context, for what we're doing now, from an objective perspective, no personal ties, no personal feelings, which I don't have any negative personal feelings towards him. It's it's just we're in a different place. When I look back in this context, like this is somewhere where I'm like, oh yeah, he was a vital cog to making this thing move. And for me, I was the closest with him then, and so we would joke and have. He probably has like hours and hours of like video footage of us doing skits together.
That's cool.
And so it was a lot of fun. And though in this context, yeah, because we can share a lot of those memories together that are only shared with him. Yes, there's no doubt about it. The last 15 years, or however long, the last decade that we've been doing this together, we have our own set of memories and that live totally detached from that. But this particular evening and what we're doing here today, it is celebrating the bond that was formed during those early years, and with Ashley, the loss of Makaika, the Dan coming in. So there was a lot of moving pieces. Unfortunately, he's just a moving piece that is not with us now.
Yeah.
But I don't think we ever thought that the four that would, if we were going to do it 25 years later,
Yeah.
I think if you would have asked our younger selves who would be the four that would go on to do it for 25 years, he would have been in that four. He probably wouldn't have.
Really?
Just because, like, he kind of came in and was like, eh.
That's a great description.
No, that's true.
I mean, there's no O-Town here without him. Now, there just isn't. Like, I think now one of us goes away. It's really tough to sort of think of it at all, but not like this.
Yeah.
When I watched it back, when I watched some of the episodes back, I realized like Ashley seemed to get the television thing like right away.
Yeah.
Like he was like a natural in that environment, and I think all of us were just kind of like
Get away.
Yeah. Whereas he like really embraced it. It was almost like borderline like genius, the way that he had figured it out, and he had figured out all these little like ways to have these like moments on television that kind of lived on. Whereas again, we were just figuring out by dumb luck. We all had the moments, but I felt like he had.
Can I spill the beans a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
On some of the stuff, because like
Yeah.
second season.